what you're getting out of the Trump administration? Please let us know.
There is no way the United States of America is going to be able to take total control of the Strait of Hormuz. And the fact that the president continues to be so delusional on that point is a major, major problem in getting to a reasonable outcome here. Look, we can certainly help ships get through the strait. We've done that, been doing that for quite a while. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But given Iran's proximity to the strait and their ability to just generate at least enough missiles and drones to threaten it, the president is just not living in reality when he says that we're going to somehow take over the strait like we take over the Erie Canal or something. We're not going to have that level of control. So the president's not dealing in reality, which is a major, major problem here. We're not going to be able to control it. The question is, what sort of pressure can we put on Iran to get them to stop doing what they're doing? The military pressure clearly hasn't worked. And the big point here is the diplomacy has been so half-assed in the way they've done this. I mean, Witkoff and Kushner, first of all, are completely unqualified to negotiate this deal. And second of all, they're doing 10 different other things as well. The single most important issue, which is stopping the war with Iran, opening up the Strait of Hormuz, and we have part-time, not even well-trained diplomats who have been put in charge of it. The president bounces all over the place. It is time to get serious about diplomacy.
And they can't do that because they stuck in a quagmire. All right, first I want to give all praises to Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushua Ba'Hashem Kakadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutation to all the brothers and a few sisters out there. Unto us like foreigners, for the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Shalom in the Hebrew, which means peace. They can't get out of this. It's humanly impossible. No matter if they surrendered, no matter if they begged, they cannot get out of this. This war has already been lost from the beginning, since the inception of it. Because this war is the war to end all wars. This is World War III. This has been prophesied. The delusional part of these elites is that, matter of fact, let me get it. And normally when I get this, I get it on, well, I haven't using it here. The delusion. Let me see. I don't know how to spell it. That's why I'm doing it. There it is. AI overview. The Albert Pike letter, usually reference to the widely circulated internet rumor that 19th century Freemason wrote a letter to the Italian revolutionary Giuseppe Mazzini in 1871, predicting the three wars to reshape the globe. However, this letter is widely considered a hoax. All right, so according to AI overview, this is a hoax. But let's see how much of a hoax it is. No original evidence, no credible historian has ever seen the original document. The British Library has confirmed, and Freedom of Information requests that it does not possess or hold this letter in the archives. The source of the claim first surfaced in mid-19th century, notable in 1958, book Pawns and Games by Canadian vessel officer William Guy Kerr. The prophecies. The alleged letter claims to outline World War I to overthrow the Russian Tsars, World War II to balance the power between fascism and political Zionism, and World War III fueled by Middle East and Islamic terrorism. Prophecy means what? To say before. So it seems like all these things that is saying AI overview saying that is not true, is a hoax, is right on point, right? And it says there's supposed to be more. There's supposed to be a lot more actually. All right, here it goes. It should be the same thing. And I'm gonna read right here. In the letter, Pike outlined the following: First World War would be used to bring down the monarchies and unite a new political force, communism. That's exactly what happened. They got rid of the czars. Tsar Nicholas and his whole entire family got assassinated. Marxism, which was ran by rats with a small hats that overthrew the Russian government. All right. World War II. The Second World War would erupt in tension between fascism, between the resulting in creation of the Jewish homeland. Come on, it did not happen. That's exactly what happened. 1948. 1948, they took over that land, and because of that situation, the United States of America is in the quagmire of his life. It's trapped. It can't go nowhere. It's stuck because that land has drug. Matter of fact, let me just get to that. I came over here. Would be Jeremiah 49 is 49 35. I can't remember. Jeremiah 49 and 20 says, therefore hear the word, so hear the counsel of the Lord. They have taken against Edom and his purposes that he have purpose against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely, and he said, surely he shall make their inhabitation desolate with them. That little small land that now everybody and their mama speaking against, right? The most hated place on the planet Earth, and rightfully so, by everyone, has drug or draw out or dragged out America into that endless war. So that state that was just a little bit of territory has now became in the process of making a greater Israel, which we are in that process, has gotten the whole world in shambles, annihilating. I mean, annihilating and igniting the anger of the world by helping them entering a World War III. So it had to have a birthplace. It had to have a birth time to do that. And they occupied that land. That's what the scripture says about a bastardship. Let me get that real quick. Should be 3 and 5 here, but Zechariah, 9 and 6. A bastard shall dwell in Ashdod, and I will cut off the pride of the Philistines. So the bastard dwells in the land of Israel, occupying the land of Israel. Why? Because after World War II, that state was created, which was prophecy. So that letter to that they're saying is a hoax seems like it's right on point. But let's see what it says for World War III. The Third World War, still coming, would be sparked by a conflict between Islamic world and the West, resulting in complete global collapse. And we here in the process. And with Trump going into or attacking Iran, talking about he's going to control the Strait of Hormuz and all this stuff. The reason why he wants to control it because the crisis of energy that's taking place. So energy crisis is going to be a global thing, which helps set a global reset. And this is all plotted out. This is all planned out from the very beginning. All right. So the internet be on point, but sometimes it's not on point. That wasn't a hoax. That was planned. But it's going to exactly what the Lord wanted. He intended it to be. Because above it all, the Lord's going to wipe this man out. He is stuck. He is trapped. He can't go nowhere. It says Jeremiah, my favorite, 50 and 24. It says, I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken. What is a snare? A snare is a trap. The Lord has set up a trap for them, and it has been taken, and they're not aware of it. See, this is why they can't come out of that situation. It was fool enough to do with the situation, but they can't get out of it at all. Babylon has, they said, oh, Babylon, and that was not aware that are found and are also caught because they has strive against the Lord. Because what? Pride has exceedingly high up on these people. And everything that they're doing is a mistake, wartime mistake. And they all tell the same thing. You cannot win a war by just bombing a nation. You have to send what? You have to send troops. So all these young men and these women who was out here having the best summer of their life, who was out here living their best life, all outside, having all that energy, jumping at each other, harming one another, team takeover, uh, oh, the World Cup, all this energy is going to help for the greatest draft in human history. And once they're in, they're never coming back out of this. Because this has been the plan from the very beginning. Um, Zephaniah 3 and 8. This is therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord. Who's supposed to wait? The elect of the nation of Israel. All right. Until the day that I rise up to the prey. So we normally be preyed upon, but the Lord said no. He's going to rise up to the real prey, which is these other nations, mainly Esau. All right. For my determination is to gather the nations. So the Lord's planning was always to gather the nations. Where? That I may assemble the kingdoms to pour upon them my indignation, even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. So the Lord's planning was to always get this thing going. They're never coming out of this. They're never coming out. And we're in living proof. So Albert Pike may look like a seer, but the results of it all is that they're going to lose their power. He said the right thing, but it was all in the scriptures anyway. So credits and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, not to these devils. So the Lord is going to annihilate, eviscerate, make this place desolate, because Esau has got caught up in his own shit. The net is set, and he ain't coming out of this at all. That being said, shalom to the elected nation. So shalom.